What's up, reefer revolutionaries? No matter what time it is in California, it's always 420, and this is DC 420.
Marijuana, I think, and legalization, I think that should be a state issue, state by state. I think it's up to the states, yeah. I'm a states person. I think it should be up to the states, absolutely. You know, I know people that are very, very sick, and for whatever reason, the marijuana really helps them.
Good people don't smoke marijuana.
Terrorists keep terrorizing.
What's up, reefer revolutionaries? No matter what time. Shoot.
What's the matter? What happened?
More technical difficulties.
Oh.
I
Well,
think we're
let's
just gonna
just
move
smoke a
forward.
Not our best showing, I guess.
Well, you know, it just went from one thing to another.
It's like that girl yesterday who fell down and just kept skating.
Exactly.
We're just gonna keep skating.
That's an excellent metaphor.
Come on, let's show the people what we got this week. At least.
All right, let's just take a breath. Let's take a breath. That was a traumatizing 20 minutes.
You guys.
We had to. Oh
Holy
wait,
crap!
Shit.
It's so hard when you are a professional perfectionist.
Well, and you're working with just a gaming PC and some OBS.
Hodgepodge action.
And the network. Oh, so many excuses. So many excuses.
No, holy crap! The closet's open too.
Holy moly!
Oh my god. We don't deserve to be on YouTube.
What's up, reefer revolutionaries? We don't deserve to be on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh my god, you're still here. Shit.
We were I don't know if it was worse to go on or disappoint our 5
Crap.
viewers.
There's still 5 people, so thanks.
Woohoo.
Oscar's here sleeping.
Oscar's crashed
Boo-boo's
out.
outside on the patio.
Oh man.
Oh Jesus Christ.
We've given up on all the other platforms and OBS 32 obviously is the problem.
Okay.
But
Hi.
Here we are.
Not as high as we should be.
Oh, well, let's get high.
Let's start with ITSG get drops, shall we?
Yes. Oh, good idea. Let's bust out the drops.
Start
while
with
you're
drops.
While you're doing that.
I've got get drops here.
Oh wait, where are you now? You have to let me know when you're going to.
I don't know. Where do you want me to be?
I don't know.
I thought that's where I was.
I've given up on trying to.
Okay,
keep up
well,
with where
anyway,
you are in the shot, and which camera you're going to be on. And,
like the 2 Dope Queens last night with all the cameras.
Yeah,
they were good. Did you guys watch 2 Dope Queens? That's a good show. All right, so this is Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper. Sativa drops. Because we don't have an edible this week, so we're gonna.
This is our edible. I love the drops.
After about.
The drops work really well.
What is that about? Each one of those is.
I haven't worked out the math on this guy.
Who knows? 2 does me well though. 2 does pretty good. So that's good.
If anybody out there.
That's from ITSG.
Happens to
Those are
know.
great tinctures.
What the ratios are, or proportion, or milligrams rather, for Jack the Ripper and 1 milliliter from ITSG, let us know in the chat, and then we can tell the people. So cool. But anyway, that's a nice place to start.
All right.
Even
well, let's
though
get.
While we were waiting in the, while Dave was valiantly trying to get us.
Well,
restarted,
I'm going to try to fix some things here.
We had a Hepburn.
While we look at our haul here and
okay,
get into this, maybe we'll get into the Flocana. Or no, we should definitely do another Hepburn.
Okay.
Right? I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so shall I start chatting about it?
Yeah, start chatting about that. I'll try to fix some things that are going on.
Is it on camera over there?
It's going to be.
Okay, I just don't know where to look or what to do.
Well, okay, your camera now is here.
I know. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if I should move the thing in circles yet or what.
And
we're all messed up today because of the technical problem, but we'll fix it. It'll be cool.
Okay, so you're
all right.
You're all good. You can.
Okay, so I see. There I am. Let me pull this back a little so you can see that better. Okay. Alrighty, my friends, my people. So we've got Hepburns. I was chatting about that earlier in the chat. Is it possible for you to bring up their?
It's
I don't know.
Good question.
I don't want to
I'm
fuck
working on
everything
it.
up. So Hepburns. This is a lady-led company out of San Francisco. There are 5 little dubs, 5 cones that come in here. I'll bring it back in a second. Just taking out the sticker. Looks like you get a sticker you can put somewhere. That's cool. And then
it's a sticker for you.
yeah, sticker
put
to
on
put
your...
places. So it comes with 5 little cones. And this is a sativa cannabis. It's biodiesel with a Julio Jones ice hash in there. And this pack,
Julio Jones.
Here, let me
Ice
show you,
hash.
show the people. Right, Julio Jones, and this was $50 for 5 little dubs.
And does it say how many grams that is?
Let's see. I like this company because it is solvent free.
Oh, that was one of the selling points that you found?
Yes, solvent free.
Nice.
CO2 extraction. Lady led, 3 grams.
So that's just under an eighth.
Yeah.
For how much? 50?
Made with love.
Made with love, but sounds like it's like
Cute.
This is what you would call the artisanal.
Yeah.
Cannabis.
Cute packaging. They also have a
So
very
there's
nice.
some bubbles. So what you're saying is that is it's about how many are in there?
5. But we
5,
smoked 1.
3 grams. So that's cannabis and ice water hash. So we've got a nice little combo. That first one was quite nice, actually.
Yeah, I found it a little. I was coughing some. But it was. I mean, the high is great. I'm not gonna lie about the high. Oh, very sunny now. Oh, hi. No.
Better lighting.
Okay, thanks, babe.
Oscar needs better lighting because
Oscar.
of his coloring.
Yes, you're right. Oscar's.
He looks
dark.
great though. He's very
Okay.
engaged. All right, well, let's
So,
spark one of those up while we talk about whatever. What else we're doing?
The other things we have.
Or do we? Yeah, let's see. You want to smoke? Let's smoke one of those.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have some other buds that we'll be trying throughout the day,
Yeah.
so that you can talk about those. While we smoke this, we got 2 grams, right? Different.
Yeah, we got 2 different
strains.
grams. I got a lamb's bread and a Dutch treat. I know, we've had those before, but I sure do like them.
They're 2 of our faves. This is a redo on the Dutch treat, or on the lamb's bread, because the last time we got this from MedMen. This is all MedMen in West Hollywood because you were there with.
I was there. I brought a friend of ours, a long-time family friend, came to town, and she wanted to check out the cannabis
wares.
space.
What's going on? Yeah.
She's lived in Portland before, so she was aware of cannabis shops up there. So I wanted to. We were just really close to MedMen in West Hollywood, so we popped in there.
Well, if you're going to show off your cannabis store, you want to go to the one that looks like an Apple store, and
That's true. It is really nice. It's well our out. There's always lots of bud tenders. Today, when I went with her, James was our bud tender. He was super helpful.
That's super nice.
I've only been there. Yes, this one. I guess I'm used to it now. The security guards recognized me. I was there one other time this week, and I picked up a pre-roll pack, a different one.
Nice.
Which I wasn't as keen on.
Yeah, what was that one? That was the.
Excuse me. That was. I will show you. Here, babe. That was Lola and Lola. Hello, LA Lola. I bought it in honor of Lola, who crossed over the Rainbow Bridge.
Oh yeah, Lola, poor Lola.
So, I tried. We tried these. You tried these too. They come in 3 little individual tubes. These Lola and Lolas.
Whoa.
Sorry, I knocked over my microphone.
That's what that noise was.
So they come in these little individual tubes. The joints are not in them right now, as you can probably tell.
What is that one you're doing?
This is the Lola and Lola.
Oh, that's the old Lola and Lola tubes.
The
Yeah, I see.
tubes. The tubes are cute. But it doesn't do, I mean, it's okay. I found them a little harsh and not the strongest. I think I just need a higher, I don't know. I need more. I need more. What can I tell you?
Jack the Ripper is approximately 600.
Ah, thank you. And the whole thing?
I guess that's in the 30 milliliters.
Yeah,
entire
30 milliliters.
So each one of those droppers is approximately 10 milliliters.
Okay. So 1 is perfect for me. 2 is good for you. Because we're going to have other things. So when you're having other things and not just one thing, you got to be mindful about the things you're taking. You got to know your dose.
So now we've done a little of that. Now we're smoking the Hepburns.
Yeah, we're doing Hepburns.
I really like the packaging.
I do. I like the lady owned. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say. Here, I turn it. The other thing I wanted to say about the Hepburns.
Packaging.
They have a really beautiful. Maybe you could bring them up on Instagram if you don't crash the house.
Signed by the artisanal artist in the back there. That's pretty cool.
Allie. Well, I think Allie might have been the owner, and everybody might be Allie, like Negan.
Oh, really? We are all.
But maybe look at their Instagram.
Negan.
Scroll through their Instagram and find the single tube thing. The single tube thing I'd love to chat about.
This guy here?
Yeah. That.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is the full.
That's an 1/8 of cannabis.
In one joint.
Or 3 grams, rather. Probably 3 grams in one joint. Right?
And you didn't get that because...
It was $50.
Okay. Yeah.
And it
was all in one, yeah.
It has a glass filter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A glass
It's
filter?
a beautiful gift. Like if you're going to a party and you want to bring something nice for the host.
Well, that's
really
fascinating.
Nice. That's a really nice gift. Because, like, who's going to buy one joint for themselves for $50?
Right, exactly. That's actually a pretty cool idea.
It's a great little gift.
And that's the Hepburn's brand there, the purple.
Yeah, Lady Lead.
Like the purple, Lady Lead. Well, the space is looking like it's
friendly to women.
Friendly to women.
For now, until it gets dominated by the big corporations.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a minute.
I mean, it's still obviously a challenge, but there are definitely many more women trying to break in, and we're hoping it's gonna.
Yeah, Arachnid Soul, a super classy glass filter, like super classy.
Totally.
You don't have to have everybody's like spit. You can like wipe it off. It would be good for a party.
Cool. And then we've got we've got a couple of grams. We got a gram of Dutch treat, and we got a gram of lamb's bread.
Let me spin.
Now we had a little of the lamb's bread earlier, and the Dutch treat. We showed them both.
Is that camera live?
Oh, here.
I'm turning.
You're turning. Okay, we'll go to the big wide. So
there, you got to do it on the all cam.
You can't really. Gotta bring it up here.
I don't see us. Refresh the big monitor, would you, babe?
Yeah, we're not up there at all because I haven't really been able to think about it.
Okay.
But we were.
All right, so the Dutch treat.
So we were trying to decide if the lamb's bread was as good as we experienced up in
Vancouver.
What do you think?
No.
We tried it twice now.
I think no. Yeah, I wanted to try the lamb's bread again because I was like, dude, I really love that lamb's bread and it was so amazing and it was so great. But you know what? Now I feel like the Dutch treat is like that lamb's bread up north.
Well,
I think maybe they got the labels mixed up.
The track and trace is writing in a book right now. Who knows if it actually is, but actually is lamb's bread. But I definitely say the Dutch treat we've been getting from there has been excellent every time.
It really is great, that Dutch treat. It's very up and happy and immediate and creative and productive.
I think we need to get that classy glass filter, as Arachnid Soul says.
Well, that's a big chunk of the budget.
Well, that's true. If we're trying to do a honey, what was this? So you got 2 grams
Oh, this. Unfortunately, I always spend too much
You have
money.
this, and now this other pre-roll. Let's talk about this other pre-roll for a second.
I spent $105
We don't want to necessarily smoke it yet, but
before tax for Flocana flower. Okay, let me talk about the Flocana.
that's this one here.
Mm-hmm. The Flocana is nice. It's a nice gift for a party, but doesn't have a glass filter. $15, 1.5. Wait, I'm just letting this hashy thing go to waste.
Oh, here, we'll pass that over here. No wasting the hashy thing.
No wasting hash. It's not a sage
It's very,
smudge.
sometimes stuff with hash on it is really harsh, but this is.
I'm finding.
Must be the bubble hash. Oh, there you go.
Oh, excuse me. I'm finding it a little harsh.
You've got now. Well, we're getting down to the.
Excuse me,
the
guys.
core here.
Oh my
Feeling
goodness.
better now. What's up, Reaper Revolutionaries? DC here. This is the late, but we're here. We made it. DC 420, the week in weed. We had some crashes.
A lot of crashes.
We had some issues, but we're here. We're back.
We're now.
We went to
cool.
Cello went to MedMen last night.
Yeah.
With a close friend. Picked up some another
some goodies.
haul of-
$105 worth of things.
All right, so about $100.
And then there was tax, so it was $132.
Okay, so yeah, so you really don't get your bang for your buck over there at MedMen.
No, but I think it also has to do a lot with the taxes. So the Flocana was $15,
The
1.5.
obsessive or oppressive recreational tax.
I really like Flocana, this company.
Oh, well, Flocana is awesome. Let me bring up their site.
The strain that's in this is Blue Skittles
I like
and
it already.
Moon Maid. Looks like. It's
that's
sativa dominant, 21.27% THC and 0.7% CBD. And I love that that's on there. It's so nice. And Flocana has the label, and it's just classy. Classy with a little cork.
So we've done
It's
a story
nice.
about Flocana in the last few weeks.
Great company.
About how they basically are the company that has purchased a winery in Northern California, the Fetzer Winery, and turning it into a cannabis institute.
Yes, please.
And they are basically sourcing their cannabis from local growers, small batch growers, and are basically they're going to be a cooperative of that services the small batch community of growers that are in Northern California.
I mean, I love that.
So they're a pretty great company, and they're just, everybody here in California is just getting going. All of the companies that are just getting to their licensing, they couldn't have anything built. Nothing could be ready to go to turn on, and there was no turnkey stuff. Everything has to be built from the ground up once to get licensed. And
it's already, the jobs have gone up like 485% or something ridiculous.
ZipRecruiter, cannabis jobs, 485% increase.
Yeah. Timbuktu, you're right. They do. They can't wait to get their grubby hands on cannabis, the GMOers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But, that's why Flocana and companies like that, it's important to support them. And ITSG Collective, super important to support your small companies, And these ladies have burns. They're cool, too. Okay, so that's the Flocana.
So
that was the Dutch treat I told you about already.
We'll watch this later. We got so much to do.
Okay.
I was going to show the Flocana video, but
I'll
run it later. But they're basically they're when you Google them, they are sustainable cannabis. So their goal is to create a place where not only are they researching and they're going to give tours at this institute.
Love it.
They're going to do research. No cannabis will be consumed on the property apparently, but they're going to be doing a lot of their growing and and educating people about cannabis. So it's pretty exciting actually. What they're trying to do, and can't wait to smoke that lovely joint.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple of grams. So we got a couple of grams. This was another one that's about 8,
Hep
right?
burns, yeah, that was 50.
And that's about a gram joint, I'd say, from Flocana. Now, that's the business model of Flocana has been just grams, 8s, and pre-rolls.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they've done in California since they started, and they did $15 million last year.
Yeah, you don't have to do
with
everything.
Just that business model.
You can just be a little niche person.
So concentrates are, of course, bing, where the big money is.
Yeah.
But these guys are trying to make their, carve out their space in the space of low production, small production, organic, good cannabis. The California way.
Right.
Is their
sustainability.
Pitch. Right. Sustainability. So pretty excited. We're going to enjoy that in a second. Yeah. But let's start getting into our top stories today, because let's do a show. Why not?
Yeah,
we're
let's
getting
put on
high.
a show.
Those 2 joints were pretty good. And let's do it. And this is of course DC 420, the week in weed. We're feeling better now that we're actually on the air and rolling. We're just on YouTube right now because it just went to shit. So we're just going out over YouTube. But please subscribe, get notifications. And here we are. But this week, a lot going on coming up this week. A lot happened last week. And of course, big news out of the West Coast. All of the California cities are starting to basically expunge, vacate, dismiss all of these marijuana misdemeanors.
Yeah.
San Francisco has done it. Berkeley, of course, started the trend. San Diego has announced it. Well, Los Angeles, not so much.
No.
I mean, you can still do it, but you're on your own. You got to do it yourself.
Well, I think if we put pressure on our district attorney Lacey, that might change. You never know. People pressure changes stuff a lot of the time.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Miss all of
especially
these,
something so easy.
Misdemeanor.
That's pretty easy, considering other places are doing it.
I'm gonna close that. I've got a bunch of windows reopened, and we're basically listening to a bunch of stuff. So I'm trying to fix this so we can play these videos. What a crash!
Oh my gosh! Look at all your little windows that are open. Wow, that's a lot of windows.
I know. Here, I think. The problem is they all started playing.
Here, pass me a pipe. I would like to try.
Let's load something while we're
I want to have the
continue.
I'm interested in this wonderful.
We don't want to bum our high. So
no, don't harsh our mellow.
Don't harsh our mellow.
This was just so up and super happy, and I feel like maybe my eyes are a little too droopy. So let's wake up.
Dutch treat.
Yeah, wake up a little bit and Dutch treat it up. So let's see. Right, guys?
Absolutely.
Here we go. Oh, here, baby. I'll give you greens. You've been through a lot. Poor thing.
No, I'm trying to figure this out.
Well, okay, we'll give it back then.
Well, no. Well, now I got greens now. I'm going to take it.
Yeah, give the people Oscar. Everything will be fine.
Sorry, I'm going to Snoop Dogg it for a second.
Oh, that's fine. Do your thing.
There you go. Oh,
yeah.
Wow, that's tasty. That's always tasty. That's Dutch treat. That's lovely. Good stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's like $20 a gram, though.
Really? It's $20 a gram?
Yeah. NorCal distribution.
That's the base
1
price
gram,
for that?
$20.
Criminy.
Plus tax.
What a racket.
A lot of good bottles of wine. Well, at least we don't drink anymore. We don't spend any money on booze.
Oh, yeah, we can't afford it now.
We're going to bars. Good thing our rent went lower.
All right, I'm going to try to open these windows. Crossing my fingers. Okay, let's play a video.
Okay. Yeah, start some news. Now that we're feeling better.
Now we're feeling happier.
Oh, yeah. God, that's good.
All right, I was going to get all funny with the... I was going to try to get all funny.
There's nothing funny right now.
We had a great routine going.
No,
because,
do it next time.
Because you heard that Snopes... basically, Snopes had to get in the game this week because this video came out at the end of January, which claimed to have exposed and dug up the long lost tapes of the garage band known as the Jeff Sessions from 1972.
That's just silly.
And
There's no way he plays an instrument.
They put out this video, and apparently it got a couple of people confused. And so much so that Snopes had to come out with
They had to weigh in on it, huh?
Had to weigh in. Snopes had to weigh in. So
Snopes.
this is hilarious. And,
Take yourself
and you
so
know,
seriously.
I mean, I'd buy it.
No.
No? You don't think? Okay, let's
No.
listen. Let's listen.
We need grown-ups in charge in Washington to say marijuana is not the kind of thing that ought to be legalized. Good people don't smoke marijuana.
It's 420, Mr. President. Won't you light a joint with me? It's 420, Mr. President. Smoking bud will set us free. Green chocolate has never been sweeter. A gooey stinky melt, well damn, I'm pleased to meet her. When that oil hits the pan, I get
Oh my God! It's like the Gong Show.
Basta.
Gong! I wish I had a gong here, for fuck's sakes. I need a gong.
I love the.
Oh my
I think
God.
it was in this world, in this time of fake news.
God, people are just so serious.
I find it really interesting that
It's so obviously satire.
there were enough people that did not realize that was satire that Snopes had to debunk it.
So obviously satire. Just Jesus, crazy, huh?
Unreal.
Ridiculous.
Unreal.
All right, well, let's talk about some news, babe. What do you
All
got?
right. I'm still trying to bring it up. All these
your newses?
these news websites, but we're good. We got the
Okay.
video. We got videos.
Well, you know,
Well, we're gonna stick with Jeff
the
Sessions.
The reason why they make fun of Jeff Sessions is because it's so easy to make fun of Jeff
Right.
Sessions.
Exactly.
He's so silly and so
Well, you know,
dumb.
here's the thing. Okay, we're gonna play this next video, and this is him this week. He was at the celebration at the Heritage Foundation of Ronald Reagan's birthday.
Mm.
Old Ronnie would be a.
Great.
Yeah, there it is. There was the applause. Ronnie, 106 today. Thank you very much. Yes, Ronnie would be 106 this week. So
Wow.
Beauregard was in. He was bringing back the 80s. He was doing all the classics. Just Say No.
Ronnie would be a vegetable in her bed if he was still alive.
Take Some Buffering.
And
Call Me in the Morning.
Right?
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
dum-dum.
Take Some Buffering and Call Me in the Morning.
For opioid, for pain from opioids, huh?
As a matter of fact, let's
This guy,
go ahead and hear what he has
you
to say
know,
about.
it's not good to wish harm on people, but people who don't understand pain, they need to experience some.
That tends to definitely change people's
Yeah,
outlook
yeah,
when they or someone in their family experiences
yeah.
illness,
Yeah.
and when they're open enough to, using alternative methods.
Yeah. Like my friend who's going through some real changes right now, and she wants to get off. She's been on benzos for like 20 years. She's been on Ativan, like huge amounts of Ativan for like 20 years. And she wants to get off of them because they aren't doing anything good for her. But when you stop taking it, you kind of feel like your skin's been peeled off, and a little more will make it like cover over a little bit. But it's terrible. It's a terrible thing.
I never got into any of that stuff.
Well, Ativan, Ativan
Fortunately.
can be nice. Just a little tiny bit.
Well, I mean,
as needed occasionally,
yeah,
but
I think
the
once or twice
doctors
in my
end
life,
up
maybe.
prescribing it like all the time. Oscar's upstaging.
Well, that's just what Beauregard says.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's hear what Beauregard
What we
has to
really
say.
have is a doctor problem.
Well, I don't argue with that. Even a broken clock.
And we're not talking about the cannabis doctors, you know what I'm saying?
Nope. We got a doctor
This isn't the
prescribing pill problem.
Well,
That's what
well,
you're saying?
yeah. Basically, we got a
Jeez.
bunch of drug dealers.
Yeah, they get kickbacks from the drug company.
We get doctors as drug dealers. So let's old Beauregard, he just brings out the wisdom in this clip. So let's take a listen to what he has to say.
All of our experts, your friends, the people we know and trust, are thrilled with the judges. And of course, Judge Gorsuch is just a 10 on a scale of 9. You know, he is going to be a great justice on the Supreme Court. So that's critical to the rule of law, without which our republic is threatened, in my opinion. And last year, we did some other things that try to correct problems that I believe should never have occurred, but we have to face the challenge of what to do about it. We settled 22 civil cases with 90 plaintiffs regarding the previous administration's wrongful execution of its contraceptive.
Sorry, that was a wrong clip.
Yeah, that happens. That's a different show.
That's the same. This is it. I just had the wrong clip.
That clip is for a different show.
No. This is the same speech. It was in the wrong spot. Here,
Yeah.
okay, here it is.
All right.
My goal for 2018 is to see a further decline. We had a 7% decline last year in actual prescriptions of opioids. We think doctors are just prescribing too many. You know, we're just prescribing too many. Sometimes you just need to take 2 Bufferin or something and go to bed. But not these pills become so addictive. And the DEA said that a huge percentage of the heroin addiction starts with prescriptions. That may be an exaggerated number. They had it as high as 80%. We think a lot of this is starting with marijuana and other drugs too, but we'll see what the facts show. But we need to reduce the prescription abuse and hopefully reduce the addiction that's out there.
People kill themselves because they're in so much pain.
Well, that's, then there's the whole underlying issue of the pain. And why they're I mean, the doctors are obviously doing it for money.
Well, no, I know somebody who has a tremendous amount of pain. They got bone-on-bone problems and degenerative discs and stenosis and all kinds of crazy shit and huge problems. And they can't get them to prescribe them the right drugs to help the pain because they don't want her addicted to benzos, I guess. But they won't give her any medicine, so she's always in pain.
Well, that's what my sister.
Cannabis.
That's what sister was saying, that they were very conscious of it now, in her hospital.
Yeah.
Of
a nurse, yeah.
Who they give the doctors, who they give pain medications to.
Yeah. Because
they are being looked at more.
Yeah.
And 7% decrease. Let's see. Let's think about
25%.
But let's think about something. How is it that there is what have they done that would have achieve that? I can't point to, and they can't really, I'm sure, even point to any policy that they've started, that they've enacted, right, that is that has the cause of that 7% decrease. Now, I know there's an DEA is going after guys, but we've seen stories about the Florida doctors where the DEA is actually handcuffed from going after these guys. So what's causing the 7%? I would postulate that you're seeing a decrease because more people are turning to cannabis because more states are becoming legal, and where you legalize it and where there is cannabis for pain use, you see a drop in the opioid use.
25% drop.
So doctors don't prescribe it. People go, fuck it, I don't need it anymore. You don't have to prescribe it to me anymore.
That's right. I just need cannabis.
So
but let me tell you, cannabis is expensive as fuck.
Fine. you gotta get your card. But then you're in the
Even
state
though-
database.
Even still,
That's
it's
you
not
save
any
15%,
cheaper, Dave.
but
Dave, it's not any cheaper.
it's still the base cost. Well, there it's a lot of gouging going on right now.
It's no cheaper.
And once all of these stores are up and running with their licenses and everything,
And you can't grow as many plants.
but
if you
this
wanna
first
grow your own.
3 or 4 months is just going to be ridiculous. Because this Dutch Treat's great. I guess it's a $20 bottle of wine. I'm down with that.
Yeah,
The bubble hash J's, okay. I like the Dutch Treat better.
they're fun for a Saturday night. You know,
They're fun for a Saturday.
I love
night.
Dutch Treat. I just love it.
So he had a couple of other choice things to say in that speech, but I'm gonna skip by it. So because I had enough of hearing about
He's
Jeff
a terrible
Sessions.
little elf.
He's a terrible little elf, and
Not that elves are bad.
he's got other
He is,
other
though.
problems on his hands right now. So I think we need to take a breath, get high, have a good time. Let's enjoy this wave of the horse is out of the barn. Whatever goes out of the barn, it's out of the barn, and there's no getting it back in the barn. So I think we're just going to have to take a breath with Jeff Sessions. Let him, part of his agenda is to undo everything Obama did, right? So the Cole memo was something Obama did. So nothing has essentially changed. He's already said, except we're doing basically the same thing that the previous Justice Department did. We're just making it up, giving it back to the states with the local federal prosecutors to handle. So I think in your legal states, you're going to get pushback, and you're not going to see, the type of raids. I could be completely wrong about this, but I think he's got Beauregard has other problems on his hand right now.
Yeah.
So on his plate, as it were.
Timbuktu is saying he can't seem to find Charlotte's Web in Washington State for some preventive anti-cancer maintenance.
Interesting.
That is interesting. Maybe there's some other strains that have a lot of CBD. I think THC is very beneficial for anti-cancer. Also, well, it creates apoptosis in the tumors. So
Haley's Hope. I don't know if Haley's Hope is in. I think they're still only in Colorado right now.
Right.
So that's the other
But
one.
also,
I know they're
if you
trying to
don't
go
eat
elsewhere.
sugar or booze and minimize starchy carbs and simple carbs, because sugar feeds cancer at every stage,
Got to get that.
that's a
in there.
good way to, prevent cancer. I'm a big preventer. I like preventing, stuff rather than trying to cure it. It's a lot harder to cure. So yeah, we try to minimize those things as much as possible. We don't drink anymore. We stopped drinking a while ago.
Indeed.
Now we have more money for weed.
Exactly. Exactly. So let's go on to our other favorite administration head with regards to marijuana. I mean, we don't just have a problem with the Justice Department. The Cole memo, sort of the rescinding of the Cole memo, that opens some doors for them. It affects other agencies and their guidance on how to handle marijuana. And one of the big issues is that with regards to taxes, and there's a number of issues with marijuana and businesses and taxes, but one of them being that it's an all cash industry for the most part.
Oh yeah, MetMen takes credit cards, but I don't know how.
I don't know what's going on there. Whoever they're using,
I have no idea. It's
it
weird.
might be a Chinese bank. I understand the Chinese banks are very open to.
And North Korea doesn't have any policies on cannabis.
Right? What is that about? There's no laws about cannabis in North Korea.
So
Is that what
weird.
you found out? Holy moly, we got to bust. Let's bust out that Flo Kana joint with that news. Let's take a look at. He was our good friend and mega movie producer. Currently of the Wonder Woman franchise, and acting as U.S. Secretary Treasury Steve Mnuchin, was grilled over marijuana money up at a hearing on the some financial services report of this committee. I had it all written out here, but we crashed. So I'm just going to play these. I'm going to play these 3 clips. These are legislators from the House of Representatives. This is a House committee, financial committee, getting a report from Secretary Mnuchin, producer of Wonder Woman, and these are 3 reps from legal cannabis states that are concerned about how the Treasury Department is going to go forward with regards to cannabis in light of the Cole memorandum being rescinded, because they have a guidance as well, but that sort of spurs off the Cole memo. So let's watch these about 5 minutes of clips here from this hearing, and then we'll talk about his answers on the back end.
Okay.
Question, marijuana and banking. And when you were here last, you and I had a little conversation, and obviously we see this industry growing. We're up to 46 states that have some level of marijuana use. So whether it's cannabis oil for seizures or medical marijuana or commercial. And, you know, the chairman and I joust about this from time to time. But obviously the banking industry needs to provide some services to all these businesses across all these states. And I don't know if you were surprised by the revocation of the Cole memo by the Justice Department, or whether you'd had chances to talk to the Attorney General before that occurred, but the genie is out of the bottle on this. And Treasury and Justice and the Congress need to address this. So you said you were going to talk to your friend, Mr. Mulvaney, about some CFPB issue or maybe budget or whatever. I suggest to you that you talk to him about the SAFE Act that Mr. Heck and I are sponsoring, because he was a co-sponsor of it. And we hoped he would have been the main sponsor, but for the fact he was selected to go to the administration. So obviously, in response to Mr. Heck, you guys are reviewing your FinCEN guidances and things like that, but there is no kind of going back here. And your department is square in the middle of so many banks and so many businesses either having a safe way and an accountable way to manage this. You know, just if you have any comments to my comments.
Well, yes, first of all, I will follow up with Director Mulvaney on the SAFE Act specifically. I did not participate in the Attorney General's decision and what he did, but we are consulting with them now. And again, we do want to find a solution to make sure that businesses that have large access to cash have a way to get them into a depository institution for it to be safe.
Thank you.
I want to go back to something that you said earlier in response to the question about FinCEN guidance on access to banking services for marijuana businesses in states that have legally constituted them, either through approval of legislative action or by a vote of the people, which is now a majority of states. And what you said, Mr. Secretary, is, I'm quoting you verbatim from just a couple hours ago, I can assure you we don't want bags of cash. I can conceive of no way in which you can avoid bags of cash if you back down on FinCEN guidance. Do you have something in mind that would enable us to prevent that very perilous circumstance to public safety of having bags of cash through a route other than that which FinCEN has already offered in terms of guidance?
Sure. Well, as I mentioned, we are reviewing the existing guidance. We specifically haven't taken it down. We are looking at what Justice has done. And again, as I said, we're sensitive to the issue of dealing with the public safety issue and also making sure that the IRS and others have ways of collecting taxes without taking in cash.
I'm interpreting what you just said to effectively, implicitly, being supportive of the current FinCEN guidance. Would I be off in that regard?
Again, I want to be careful in my wording and saying we are reviewing it, but the intent is not to take it down without a replacement that can deal with the current situation.
Very good.
The FinCEN guidance. One more here.
When it comes to marijuana, we currently have the FinCEN guidance. And if you were to revoke that, then that would really make it better for armed robbers in my community, because there'd be huge amounts of cash at the local marijuana dispensary. Can I have, well, I hope you'd respond for the record what you plan to do, and I hope that you would indicate that you're interested in keeping our communities safe. I don't want bags of cash at a marijuana dispensary down the street from my constituents. Can I count on your answer on that?
I can commit to you that we are reviewing it, but I assure you we don't want bags of cash. Want to make sure that we can collect our necessary taxes and other things in other than
When
cash.
you were here last
They want to make sure that they get their taxes.
I'm sure they take it in cash.
It's a real pain in the ass, actually, for governments to take their
Huge.
taxes in cash. It's
Yeah.
huge. Big problems all over the place, and really, really unsafe.
Yeah.
It's a big attractant. But let's as we talk about this, let's fire up that Flocana.
Flocana, and they have a lot of good branding situation going on here. They got this.
Oh wait, okay, let me go to you. No,
No,
back it up.
whoops.
Back it up.
Oh God.
No, you're up. Are you up here? No, you're here.
I don't know where I am.
You're here.
Not there.
Back. Come
Apparently
back.
I'm there.
Lean back. No, you're here. Lean back. There you go. Here, right here is
Trying to
right here is
show-
where you need to be. Back it up. Oh, what's right there on the thing? It's on the filter.
On there too.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of branding.
Yeah, lots of branding. All right, good. Well, let's forget the branding. It's enough of the branding.
Here.
We've said their name.
You can.
Let's smoke it.
I'm just think it's interesting. Here, spark it up.
Oh, okay.
Look at how cute Oscar is in the background, huh, you guys? Look at how cute he is.
There's cute Oscar.
Oh, he's adorable.
All right.
Yeah, no, we know. I know. I see the way I have channeled my activism, Timbuktu, my man. I have channeled all my activism into sticking it to the man and preventing illness. So yeah, I avoid hospitals and doctors, and I eat really well.
You see your acupuncturist
I see my acupuncturist
like,
all the time.
every week.
Yeah,
At
he's
least.
not a doctor like this guy. Radiation department in hospitals. I don't hospital,
Oh yeah.
but I totally acupuncture and chiropractor.
So there you go. You've got Representative Perlmutter. You've got who else? Perlmutter. Heck. What the heck from Washington? And Sherman from, not Berman. Sherman, the other one from the other guy from California. Brad Sherman. Basically saying, okay, now that Sessions has rescinded this, what's going on? I'd say Mnuchin basically gave a bunch of non-answers, other than the fact that he wants to make sure
He
that
gets his money.
he gets his money. He gets his marijuana money. So,
Mnuchin also produced Mad Max with Charlize Theron.
Mad Max, which is, talk about ideation,
And,
that's where we're going to be in 10 years.
Yeah, and also another one that I really liked was Our Brand is Crisis.
Oh, right. Another one
About
that's very...
how we influence the elections of another country.
What was that? What was that?
Our Brand is Crisis with
All right.
Sandra Bullock.
And it was about
It's
what?
a comedy. About how we influenced the outcome of an election of another country.
In a South American country, yes. Or Central American country. It's a great movie.
It's very funny.
But that's fascinating. I didn't realize he was the producer of that as well.
Oh, yeah. I had a panic attack.
We almost had to leave. I think we had,
At Wonder Woman.
we had to walk out. Luckily, it was in the
I walked
credits.
out.
Luckily, she didn't see the opening credits. I don't know if his name was
It
in the
wasn't.
opening credits.
There was no opening credits. It was a really great film, and then I realized Steve Mnuchin produced it, and I just had to re-examine the whole fun aspect of the film, because it's not really a great film. It's kind of not feminist at all. but you know,
What do you mean it's
on
not
its
feminist?
face, well, she's not complete without the love of a good man, and that's just she's an Amazon, and she's from
Never been exposed to men whatsoever.
no,
But her life is not complete at the end of
and
the
those
movie.
ladies look pretty freaking complete.
Mhm.
You know. Anyway, it was pretty lame, but.
Well, I don't know if it's 3 grams in this one joint. We didn't get one of those.
No. This is just
about,
a 1 gram.
I think that's
joint.
like a 1 or a 1.5 maybe.
Yeah, this is a $15 joint.
They are still hard to smoke. Wow, oh, look at Oscar, so cute.
It's running. Oscar is crazy cute. Groucho.
Groucho.
My friend started calling him Groucho. It was very funny.
All right, let's hele on to the next.
Move on to the next thing while we keep
the
smoking
next
this
big
doob.
national story.
I hope everybody out there is smoking doobs too.
What are you smoking? Let us know in the chat here at DC420 LA on YouTube. Subscribe, get notifications as Chella coughs on our lovely Flo Kana joint that we picked up at MedMen this week. Where we weed this week, as well as what we weed, which is Flo Kana. Quite tasty.
Yeah.
Quite tasty. All right. Well, let's as Chella works out her cough, let's move on to our next segment. And this is a very we talk about this topic all the time, actually, or we have since we've been doing the show. This is like the show 29, I think, or 28. Glad we made it. But we talk about microdosing all the time. And microdosing, if you don't know what that is basically taking small, anything under 10 milligrams of THC, depending on what you need and when you can function, for just basically the trials of everyday life.
Minimum effective dose.
The minimum effective dose to help you deal with the trials of life. And the doctors are addressing this subject. So let's take a look at these 2 videos while we finish this joint.
I can't smoke anymore.
You can't smoke any more of this joint. Okay.
I'm good.
All right.
We're going to explore various alternative health therapies that are being used in place of or alongside conventional medicine. We're going to start with cannabis because it's on a lot of people's minds these days. We met with a group of moms who say taking very small doses of marijuana, known as microdosing, has completely changed their lives.
I'm a mother of 2. I have a very successful business, and I also microdose cannabis every day. Microdosing is when you consume cannabis in very small doses, anything under 10 milligrams of THC. I know that when I take one of these mints, it's just the 2.5 milligrams, and I just feel like I can handle my day. Microdosing is much more common than people think.
When I was 12 years old, I got my first migraine headache. As I got older, they did get more frequent and more intense. When I was younger, I definitely used cannabis recreationally and discovered that it took my pain away, and it was like, wow, this is amazing. I started microdosing around 4 years ago. I just took a small amount, and within 15 minutes, my headache was clearing up. The way I found my correct dosage was definitely through trial and error. I would take the smallest amount that I could, and then if I started to feel a little fuzzy, then I would know, okay, that's my limit. I am taking around 2.5 milligrams, and I know that because I use edibles so that you know the exact amount which is in the product.
I use cannabis as a part of my daily health and wellness regimen, like somebody else would be using St. John's wort. I microdose every day after the kids have gone to school. I work from home, so after I've microdosed, I feel really creative.
My daughter was born a year and a half ago. Microdosing really allows me to medicate and still be completely in control, especially in edible form. You're not combusting, there's no smoke.
Since I've started microdosing, I've been incredibly motivated. I built an entire business. I'm more active with my kids. I'm just a generally happier person.
When I was experiencing migraines, I was definitely in fear of when's the next one going to come? How long is this current one going to last? And now I know that if I feel something coming on, I can take it, and within 15 minutes it will be gone and I can continue on my day.
So the question is microdosing marijuana safe, and is there any science to back up the health claims? We're about to talk about just that. Ozzy is the founder of the cannabis publication OOV Lifestyle, and we also have joining us via Skype Cannabis Dr. Dustin Sulak. And I want to start with you, Ozzy. Because this whole concept is so new, did you find your appropriate microdose, so to speak, with a doctor? How did you go about that?
A lot of learning the correct dose for yourself is with trial and error, but I would just say to go slow and gradually increase to whatever feels comfortable for you.
Dr. Sulak, are there any conditions or medications that people take that absolutely should not consider doing this, that would make it quite risky or dangerous for them?
There's really not. There are definitely some medications that have interactions with cannabis, but if you're taking a consistent, very low dosage of cannabis each day, you're not going to see any of those interactions. I've never seen that in my practice. A good example is Coumadin or warfarin, the blood thinner. And just like we tell people with Coumadin, eat the same amount of greens every day, it would be the same thing with cannabis. Take the same low dose of cannabis every day. Don't alter it very much. So this is extremely safe. It's non-rewarding, meaning there's no pro-addictive effect. Even people that have a history of addiction don't get into trouble with microdosing because it doesn't send that pleasure signal. It just gives a sense of resilience.
Who's a good candidate?
Well, I think that anyone's a good candidate for microdosing. The concept with microdosing is generally for healthy people that are using cannabis to stay healthy and to improve their resilience to stress. So we have a lot of psychological stressors in our environment, and then we also have toxic stressors and physiologic stressors. We know that our bodies are making cannabinoids, the compounds found in cannabis. We make a very similar analog in our inner pharmacy for the purpose of responding to stress, responding to injury and illness, and keeping us healthy. So this is like a daily supplement, a multivitamin approach to working with a system that's already serving this purpose and just making that system function even better.
And I want to just ask this question because when I first read about microdosing, I thought, okay, maybe we're onto something here. But I also want to play devil's advocate, which is with the general lack of formal research out there, when we throw out terms like health promotion and health benefits, I do think we need to be a little bit careful. I want to ask you as a physician, purely from the science-backed perspective, not just your experience, I mean, how far away are we from having more formal information? Because it is a little bit of a gunslinger approach right now. And in our show, we always say, look, if you're going to try something that's alternative, number one, make sure it's not going to do any harm. And don't always believe anything that says it's just going to cause health promotion for the sake of it. And that's always my concern right now, is it's the new frontier, but scientifically, where are we?
Well, there's no guarantee that this is going to promote health, but if it's reducing stress and enhancing performance, then in my opinion, that's a marker of improving health. The hypothesis, based on lots of animal research, is that cannabis can protect our brain, protect our organs, reduce obesity, reduce diabetes, keep us in a state of balanced health. That's the hypothesis from the animal data. The human data is starting to support that, and there's nothing in the human data that is opposed to this theory.
But no microdosing during pregnancy, though, right?
No microdosing during pregnancy.
Okay. Yeah, we know that actually there are studies that taking maybe not microdoses, but higher doses can definitely affect the brain development of the baby in utero. So it's definitely not recommended during
Yeah,
pregnancy.
I would say stay away. Yeah, absolutely. Low birth weight, behavioral problems, brain development, and things like that. So I just wanted to make sure that any viewers watching, if you're pregnant and you're having a little anxiety or you're saying you just want to relax a little bit, I don't think that this is the best option for you, because we don't have studies to support it is safe for your baby.
Doctor, do you microdose yourself?
I do. I've explored it. I've tried microdosing myself using various parts of the plant, THC, CBD, some of the acidic cannabinoids. I find that I'm able to be very productive at work, and I do feel an increased sense of resilience and an increased productivity, more mental clarity, more sharpness, and less stress.
There's so much more yet to learn, and again, as marijuana is being legalized in more and more states, some for recreational use, I think the important thing here is to educate yourself. And if you're considering microdosing, I actually highly recommend you talk with a physician who is well versed in this, because the one fear I have when things are the Wild West is often people think, hey, the more the merrier. And I think we just need to be smart here, but I certainly am happy Ozzy seemed to be having a great result, and glad there are doctors like Dr. Sulak out there who are really pioneers in learning all the new data. So thank you all so much for being with us.
And Dr. Sulak.
They're doctors. They're very big doctors. Two big
I wanna
doctors. Ears,
find
eyes,
out-
nose, and throat doctors.
I want to find out if I can find Dr. Sulak.
Dr. Sulak, cannabis doctor.
Is he in LA?
What does that mean, cannabis doctor? Because someone who actively uses cannabis in his practice?
Yeah, I think so. Not just a guy who's going to give you a medical card for headaches.
Right. And his rap was great. I mean, I think he nailed all of it.
Reduce stress, improve performance.
And he's right. It's all the animal research says exactly that.
Improve resilience to stress.
Listen, microdosing, the one biotech company that is doing any research with Alzheimer's and THC is using ultra micro doses of THC.
Right.
And they're getting amazing results in vitro in the animals. And they're about to go into human trials.
Well, animals are really small.
Yeah, but
maybe they'll scale it up.
It's the way they do it. Yeah, they're going into human trials, but they're gonna put out a product already. So.
Oh, exciting!
Yeah, I know, it's very cool. I don't think it's coming to California yet.
Hey, are you just air freshening with that thing?
Sorry, here.
No, I don't want it. You should put it out.
I should put it out, right? You're taking a break.
Yeah, I can't smoke it.
I'm enjoying this Flowcana joint very much.
Good, yeah.
So there you go. The doctors, two very big doctors, talking about microdosing.
I love
which
that
is
it's on that super mainstream show.
And I love the one. What are the ladies says? It's more people are doing it than you think.
Yeah.
And it's very true. It's
Nobody's going to talk about it.
Hey, listen, there are truck drivers driving around on
Oxy,
100 milligrams of OxyContin, Vicodin all day long. So if it makes you more productive and it helps you and it doesn't impair you, if you take too much Vicodin, it's going to impair you. So, you find your dose. That's the whole thing, the trial and error. You got to find your dose because these idiots don't know what's going on. In the
practice of medicine.
In the news roll-up, you'll see that in Nevada, they're starting to do more college courses now.
Yeah.
And doctors are like, well, I need to find out about this stuff.
They do need to find out about this stuff.
And how to use it.
Yeah.
So,
it's a great tool. They really should be using it in their toolbox. I wish my mom could use it legally.
Yeah, well, it all comes down to the feds, and that's what's going on this weekend.
Yeah.
Or rather, this week. It's a direct, a shot across the bow. The federal court is hearing Alexis Bortell.
So exciting.
And Marvin Washington. It's Washington versus Jeff Sessions, I think it is. And there's 4 people that are in the case, and the lawyers are going to be arguing that basically the Controlled Substances Act is unconstitutional.
Yeah.
And because, she can't travel.
As it pertains to cannabis.
As it pertains to cannabis.
Yeah.
But I think it has broader implications.
Yeah.
But they're going to argue their case on Wednesday, Valentine's Day.
Wear green.
We'll keep track of that. They're asking for folks, if you want to come down and support.
Yeah.
In New York City.
Wear green.
Wear green. Come on down.
I'm going to wear green anyway. I'm not going to New York.
I changed my Facebook profile page. That's what you're supposed to do, right? Change your profile.
Yeah.
If you're if you're woke and you want to make sure you're participating in all of the social network activism.
Change your Facebook.
But this is it's a story we've been following for a long time and watching this this young 12-year-old warrior growing up against Jeff Sessions.
Kind of
and
great.
They have their own business.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own farm. And she's been seizure free.
Yeah, for like.
And you're going to see another story in the news roll up this week where another young person is seizure free because of CBDs. And Texas, kids are getting their oils for intractable epilepsy now. So we're going to start seeing results coming out of there. And now it's just going to be a floodgate. It's going to be a floodgate. 46 states, according to Representative Perlmutter, I believe, from Colorado, he, made the point in some form, whether it's oil for seizures in some cases or full recreational. 46 states have legalized some form of cannabis.
Yeah.
So we're at a a tipping point. The tipping point.
Total tipping point.
All right.
Hi, Boo Boo. Boo Boo just came in.
Come on, Boo Boo. Get in the shot.
Get in the cam, Boo Boo.
Oscar's looking super cute.
Come on.
We got it now. We're back. There we go. That's a great shot of you and Oscar. Very nice. He's super cute, sleeping.
So cute.
On camera. But that's pretty much all he does all day anyway.
He's a sleeper. It's not because he's high. He's an old dog.
Yeah, he's an old dog. And he's very grumpy in the morning.
Very. Groucho.
All right. Well, thank you, doctors. Thank you, doctors, for helping us mainstream.
Yep, national mainstream newsy news.
National mainstream newsy news.
Chat show. Mummy's Little Helper. All the people who are home during the day got to learn about it. It's good.
All right. Well, since we've got a late start today, let's just move right on to the news roll-up as we enjoy this Flocana joint. It was very nice. The drops are, the Jack the Ripper drops are from ITSG, are just stimulating the creativity.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And let's get into, let's get into the South, because that's where that story comes from. Out of Georgia. And Georgia, there's some pretty cool action coming out of Georgia this week. And as we progress through legalization throughout the states, who would think that Georgia might be one of the states that is going to be to legalize? Now the dog is super cute. So I'm gonna leave that camera on while I get this video ready.
You have to.
You and Oscar. But there's a lawmaker in Georgia that is reintroducing a legislation to legalize recreational cannabis in the state of Georgia. So let's roll through some stories down in the southern region.
Okay.
As Oscar is
So cute.
chilling
How cute he is.
chilling on his bed.
Oh, so cute, boy.
Super cute. Well, maybe we'll put him up while we're watching the video too.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
We'll put him in the.
At 5, the move to legalize recreational marijuana is gaining traction down at Georgia's capital. The lawmaker pushing it, though, admits it won't be easy. Channel 2's Richard Elliott is live in Northeast Atlanta. Why support is building. Richard?
Yeah, well, given the fact that this is a GOP-controlled legislature and it is an election year, chances of the state of Georgia legalizing recreational marijuana still almost nil. But the bill's sponsor says support is growing.
The historical trends and the political trends nationally and even here in Georgia are on our side.
Tucker lawmaker Kurt Thompson knows he's fighting an uphill battle, but once again he's introduced a measure that could legalize recreational marijuana.
When I first started this, I was the only sponsor. There's now 6 co-sponsors, on the retail bill. There's now about 17 or 18 on the medicinal marijuana.
But don't be confused, Thompson is not talking about medical cannabis oil. He would like to see Georgia legalize marijuana so you could possess up to an ounce and buy it from stores just like this one in Colorado. Channel 2 Action News flew to Denver in 2016 to do a story about these shops. Thompson thinks the state could benefit from taxing the drug.
If you use the Colorado tax rates and then just correct for population and assume that there's not going to be heavier use or less use here in Georgia than in Colorado, you end up bringing in about $340 million a year just in tax revenue.
Virginia Galloway of the Faith and Freedom Coalition opposes any legalization because of religious reasons, but more importantly, she says, because of health reasons.
Well, I think most Georgians realize that there's some real dangers inherent in doing that thing, and a lot of people will be hurt, traffic accidents, not to mention the impact on drug use among young people.
And again, even with the added support for this bill, this resolution, there is very little chance of it passing the General Assembly, at least this year. We are live in Northeast Atlanta. Richard Elliott, Channel 2 Action News.
Armed with a gun and gummy worms, deputies found a couple with drug-laced candy and thousands in cash.
The accused drug dealers caught at a Fort Myers Beach parking lot. As NBC2's Nestor Mato found out, it was actually an accidental bust.
Yeah, deputies say the two were in a car with darker than legal window tints, and that led to them being stopped and what led to the stumbling of the stash inside. A gun, drugs, and cash found on Fort Myers Beach.
Drugs and guns don't mix.
Salvatore Virzi is just 20 years old, and Lee County deputies say he's already a gun-toting, cash-carrying drug dealer. He and his 21-year-old girlfriend, Kathleen Dudney, were pulled over near San Carlos Boulevard and Main Street for illegal window tints. Deputies finding much more inside.
And that's how people get killed.
Monique Finley works to stop substance abuse. She's also a mother.
Obviously, the handgun is there to use if something went down.
Their car loaded with liquid THC tanks for e-cigs, 104 grams of weed, and 36 grams of marijuana-infused gummy worms.
That's really dangerous because the gummies are going towards the little kids.
Investigators say that cash totaled up to $3,800. Well, they also found an ecstasy pill in the car. The two are from Central Florida. They're now facing drug charges. I'm in the studio. Nestor Mato, NBC2.
Medical marijuana, now available in Texas, but not for all patients, and that includes many patients with epilepsy.
Channel 5's Jennifer Carpenter spoke with a mother who says that she will continue to fight for medical cannabis legalization. She says it all comes down to saving her son's life.
It's not easy, but I mean, I just ask God to give me the strength every day to just get up and do what I have to do to give him the best life possible.
Myra Rivera says her son, Rosendo Robles, took a turn at just 4 months old.
My son is still undiagnosed. He has had every test underneath the sun done, and there is still no diagnosis.
Hey, are you okay? We met with the mother last year. She was looking forward to the implementation of the Compassionate Use Act, Senate Bill 339. It allows some physicians to prescribe low THC cannabis, a prescription low in the chemical known for causing a high, something some medical professionals say can reduce seizure activity. SB 339 went into effect this past September. Rivera soon learned her son, now 13, still has obstacles.
Yeah, we don't qualify because my son does not have intractable seizures.
These are seizures that cannot be controlled with drugs. She's afraid it only takes one seizure to stop a heart.
It just takes one, and you can pass away. So when my son has a seizure, yes, I panic. Yes, I'm scared because I don't know if in that moment his heart is going to stop and he might potentially pass away, because that is the reality that we are facing.
SUDEP, or sudden unexpected death in epilepsy, is a real concern for any person suffering seizures. The Epilepsy Foundation says SUDEP causes a person's body to inexplicably shut down in the time after a seizure, and they say it's not known yet what exactly causes it. We spoke with staff for Representative Eddie Lucio out of Cameron County. He is an outspoken advocate of medical marijuana. In spite of the setbacks of 2 House bills that didn't make it through last year, Representative Lucio tells us he has full intentions to refile a new medical marijuana bill. We're also told Lucio is talking to Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who spoke with us about his concerns on legalization last year.
One of the beauties of the way the United States work is that there are different states that have different programs, and we have the opportunity here in Texas to observe what is going on in Colorado. And I got to tell you, there are some potential upsides, but there have also been demonstrated some potential downsides.
With the clock ticking, Rivera says her son continues to experience 6 to 8 seizures a month while medicated. She won't stop trying.
I'm going to keep fighting. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep fighting for my son until there is a change here in Texas. I'm not going to be quiet.
For Rivera, legalizing medicinal cannabis for all epilepsy patients is a matter of life and death. In McAllen, Jennifer Carpenter, Channel 5 News at 6.
The Epilepsy Foundation says more than 1 in 1,000 adults die from SUDEP, sudden unexpected death in epilepsy. The risks are lower for children at 1 in every 4,500.
The first medical marijuana dispensary in Texas to allow epilepsy patients to fill their prescriptions in person opened today. And one of the first to do so in Manchac, south of Austin, was a 2-year-old boy. Andrea Lucia sat down with his family, new tonight at 10.
I think one of his biggest problems is that now that he's 2, he's a toddler, and in some ways he's...
Oscar Wilkins isn't the easiest interview subject. He hasn't had the easiest life.
It's hard and joyful. We just want to help him be everything he's supposed to be.
Oscar had his first seizure when he was 5 months old.
Fell asleep on my lap and woke up and had a seizure. That was just
the beginning of what's been a really long journey for us.
Where's your word for eat? Physical therapy and diet have helped, but the medication Oscar takes creates other complications.
It can decrease muscle tone, and he already has low muscle tone. It can slow down your thinking and make you tired and groggy, and he already has problems with cognition.
Today, at the grand opening for the state's second medical marijuana dispensary, his mother, Christy, became one of the first in Texas to fill a prescription for low-THC cannabis oil, eager to see if it can prevent Oscar's seizures without the serious side effects.
You know, I'm happy that this day has finally come for Texas.
Compassionate Cultivation made 4 sales in its first day of oil packaged in vials like this one.
Everybody asks about it.
Oscar's neurologist and the medical director for Compassionate Cultivation, Dr. Karen Keogh, says epilepsy patients are clamoring to try the oil, but warns fewer than half could see a meaningful benefit.
It's probably realistic expectation. 10% will get full control at best. That's a pretty low number, but if you're in that 10%, then that's awesome, right?
This evening, Oscar received his first dose. Now his family waits to see what it does.
I guess I'm cautiously optimistic, and I'm hopeful that this will work for him.
In Manchac, Andrea Lucia, CBS 11 News.
Texas has only legalized medical marijuana for epilepsy patients. Licensed dispensaries will deliver to patients in North Texas who get a prescription and place an order.
When we received our final license on October 31, we planted our first set of seeds. We planted more than 200 seeds on that day with the intent to be able to create our first harvest that could then turn into the dry plant material that can be taken through the extraction process. Essentially what happens is you plant the seeds, then it goes through, just like any other plant or any other thing that grows, it grows through a maturation process. After they've gone about 120 days through their growth cycle, we then harvest them. We harvest them by basically cutting from the stalk and all the way out through the flowers, and then we have to dry them out. It takes about a week to 10 days to dry them out, and then we pulverize that plant into really fine, almost dust. That becomes our feedstock, and we load that feedstock into our extraction machine. We have 2 canisters in our extraction machine. We can put about 2.5 pounds in each of that, and we take it through an extraction process. At the end, we vaporize the CO2, leaving nothing but the unrefined oil at the end. Then we go through a couple refining stages in order to really purify that oil and remove any of the other constituents that we don't want, the waxes, the fats, the lipids, etc. We pull all those out, and now we're ready to look at and start to test that product. So we take it through a very rigorous testing environment to ensure that there's no contaminants that's in the final product, that we can identify exactly the cannabinoids and the terpenes that are there, and that we can specify the concentration of the oil as well as the ratio of the oil of CBD to THC. And then at the very end, we end up packaging it into our 2 different bottle sizes and our 3 different flavors. And now we're ready to dispense it to the people in Texas that have been waiting for years for this medicine to finally be available. It's important to me, beyond just whatever the business value is that we may be able to create, it's important to me that we create something that can lead to a positive change in people's lives. And I think that's what this medicine and what this plant can represent in the state of Texas. And as a result, I'm proud to be a Texan, and I'm proud to be here today to be able to help make a change, a positive change in these people's lives.
The future looks bright for one local high school football player. He has a shot at playing for his dream school, Auburn University.
As our Zach Merchant tells us, that chance was almost taken away.
Take a look at number 17. A big target at the top of the pitch, but it's not his main sport. Nope, that'd be football. And in just 1 year with the Warner Robins Demons, the defensive back earned a spot as a preferred walk-on with his dream college.
I was like, this is my school. I can't pass it down. So I just had to go ahead and just sign and go to Auburn.
But that almost didn't happen.
My body, it kept shutting down because I had seizures.
He says in his sophomore year, he had more than a dozen seizures. He didn't know when they'd happen, and they started to get in the way of his sports and his schoolwork. Running out of options, he turned to cannabis oil.
I started using it January of last year, and I never had a seizure since. And it's been over a year now.
Though it's legal in the state of Georgia, Warner Robins state rep Heath Clark used CJ's case in comments at the State House Thursday. He's urging the U.S. Congress to federally legalize medical marijuana.
It's time for Congress to act. They need to stop sitting around on this issue and stand up and speak up for men, young men like CJ Harris.
And back home in Warner Robins, the Republican argued the change in federal law makes sense.
Marijuana is more illegal than cocaine. And are you telling me that cocaine is less dangerous than marijuana?
CJ agrees that access to the drug needs to be expanded, but in his own life, with Auburn to look forward to,
I'm just thankful that everything worked out at the end.
And if Representative Clark has his way, there will be more following in CJ's footsteps. In Warner Robins, Zach Merchant, 13 WMAZ, Eyewitness News.
Cannabis oil was legalized in Georgia in 2015 for limited medical uses.
What's up, Reefer Revolutionaries? DC here. Be sure to join us on Sundays live at 4:20 Pacific for DC 420, The Week in Weed, the show where we spark up and talk about marijuana in the mainstream media, the politics of pot, and cannabis cures. That's DC 420, Sundays at 4:20 Pacific. Follow the channel link, subscribe, and get notifications for when we go live. See you Sunday at 4:20, Pot for Peace.
420 or thereabouts.
Thereabouts. Depending on technical issues. You did a great job getting it back up, babe.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry we lost Phil. What can you do?
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Phil. I guess because we were like, I was like, I got to try this one more thing. And I think it has to do with anyway. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're here. We're high.
We're together.
We're talking about the news.
We're doing news and the news.
There you go. We have that kid. That's amazing. That's like more. That's more ammunition for those attorneys.
For Alexis Bortel's case.
For Alexis Bortel's case on Wednesday, and Marvin Washington.
Yeah.
He's seizure free for over a year, and moving on to Auburn. Yeah. So that's pretty exciting. And Georgia going for the big wreck. Going, do not pass go. Do not pass go. Do not collect $100. Go straight to recreational marijuana.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that happens. But at least they're talking about it. You know, they're talking about it, and it's being brought up all over the place. Virginia last week, you know, they had action for medical. So it's the genie's out of the bottle.
It is.
The genie is out of the bottle.
Genie's way out.
All right, let's go to the big story this week. Is in Seattle, coming out of Seattle.
Yes,
More West Coast action on changing the wrongs of the drug war that Beauregard wants to start up again.
Yeah.
So, but these cities, these progressive cities, are not having it, and they're taking action. And this is what we like to see our government do. This kind of stuff, righting wrongs, and it's like, oh, there's laws, there's punishment, they were wrong. Drug war's wrong. These are wrong. These are wrong laws.
Yeah.
And this totally makes sense. So let's see what Seattle is gonna do. The mayor of Seattle, check it out.
Wiping people's records clean would open up more job opportunities, even housing.
Today we are announcing that the City of Seattle will be asking the Seattle Municipal Court to vacate convictions and dismiss charges for all misdemeanor marijuana possession.
Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkin stood alongside City Attorney Pete Holmes and community members announcing their request. The final okay to vacate but not expunge those records would come from Municipal Presiding Judge Karen Donahue. They expect their answer in a few weeks.
We have to have more effective means for treating people. We also have to have alternatives to incarceration.
Pete Holmes told us the vacations would affect 542 people, according to a count by the city attorney's office. Marijuana was legalized by Washington voters with I-502 in 2012. Holmes says when he took office in 2010, they stopped charging for simple possession.
As I look at this, it's the prosecutor and the wonky lawyers. How do we undo a bad policy?
City leaders envision a website where those convicted could check to see the status of their previous convictions. Criminal convictions for possession adversely affected those in question, making it more difficult for them to apply for jobs and housing. While vacations of judgment may not fix it all, Mayor Durkin says these regulations disproportionately affected minority populations.
To take those people whose lives really were changed and to say to them and admit to them, we as a society made a mistake. We can't give you back all those years, but what we can do is say we will erase that criminal conviction.
As far as felony cases go, City Attorney Pete Holmes said that would be up to county and state officials. He and Mayor Durkin said they're also pushing for more vacations on a statewide level. In Seattle, I'm Rob Munoz, KIRO 7 News.
Who doesn't like more vacations? Yeah, definitely. Good news out of Seattle. Not such good news is their computer system in Washington has been hacked. Their track and trace. Now, we've seen this, I believe, in Oregon, had this problem. So, what's going on? Was it the Russians? Let's see.
Well, we are learning more about what caused the glitch in Washington's pot system. State leaders say someone hacked the system.
Yeah, according to the State Liquor and Cannabis Board, someone breached the marijuana traceability system on Saturday. That person apparently downloaded a copy of the database but did not get any personal information. Still, the hack caused quite a headache for growers and shops because they weren't able to ship or take in any new inventory. The state says the problem was fixed on Monday.
Some growers we talked to were still having troubles just 2 days ago, but say they are now able to take deliveries, or make deliveries rather. What they say is more concerning, though, an email from the Cannabis Board says delivery route vehicles and license plate information was accessed. One grower we talked with said while they can make deliveries, driver safety is a big concern.
Yeah, and product concern.
Yeah, driver and product safety. That's what corporations generally care about.
That's right.
Not bottom line, not really people. I'm sorry, I just have to have a little snack.
That's good. No, it's definitely. I'm feeling a little snacky too. What do you got going there?
I got white rice and peas.
That sounds thrilling.
That's delicious. Pardon me.
All right. Well, okay. So Washington's got its problems with their tracking system. At least they've got one. We don't have one yet going here in California. I think we're going to go metric. I'm pretty sure.
Hey, Upstate Raider.
The Upstate's here.
Russians.
Oh, cool. I'm glad we held back on the East Coast stories. We moved into West Coast, though, so there's a few of them. Those were out of Washington. Seattle, getting rid of those misdemeanors.
Hey, can you not be on my camera so I can have some rice?
Oh, okay, sure. Sorry.
Thanks.
I'm going to eat. All right. So, well, I'll tell you, the more marijuana I miss, the meaner I get.
What?
The more marijuana I miss, the meaner I get.
You're not mean.
Marijuana misdemeanor.
But there are people who do get mean.
Yeah, there are some aggro potheads. It's true.
No.
All depends on the.
He needs marijuana or else he is mean.
Really?
Yeah, you know.
Well, that's good. That's good. Remember that it's working.
Remember what's her name's ex?
No.
In Hawaii. I don't want to say who.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. But let's move into Oregon. They have some concerns as well. Marijuana shop concerns. Oh, I know it, because Oregon is awash with marijuana.
Hey, Upstate Raider, the Russians might get us paper ballots.
Right?
So whatever.
We digress.
But go on, let's go back to your story.
We can talk about that in a second.
Uh-huh.
But let's just go into this story.
An audit released by the Oregon Secretary of State finds regulators charged with tracking the state's recreational marijuana business have been too lax. The audit of the Oregon Liquor Control Commission comes after U.S. Attorney Billy J. Williams convened a summit last week to address what he called a, quote, massive problem with the marijuana surplus winding up on the black markets in other states. The Oregonian reports the audit found monitoring and security of the tracking system for the $480 million legal recreational marijuana industry are inadequate. The report says the OLCC doesn't have enough inspectors and should not rely on marijuana businesses to report their own data.
Well, that's what we're doing here until they got that stuff worked out. But they're going to work it out. We're going to figure it out. They're going to get their money. Don't worry. They're going to get their tax money. And we talked about the answer last week, actually. The answer is get rid of it, get rid of the laws, make it not illegal federally, and do trade deals. Legal marijuana states just do trade deals. And when one state has too much marijuana, ship it down to a state that's a little dry, like California. We're a little short right now. Getting there anyway. We're going to be short.
No,
supposedly.
we are short. They don't have all the stock at the place.
Really? That was the big concern.
And they were saying they're short.
Yep.
That's why it's so dang expensive.
So dang expensive. All right, let's keep rolling. Let's get into California, where last week we reported we've got of course our cities are now getting rid of the misdemeanors and looking into felonies. So that's great news. But business, recreational side keeps on rolling here in California, and there's some innovative entrepreneurs that are jumping on this crazy marijuana thing.
Is this the thing in San Francisco?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. This is the ganja yoga.
Love it.
All right, here we go. If it doesn't fit yoga, where does it fit?
Can't wait to go.
All right, from hot yoga to hot box yoga. That's funny. That's
what it's
funny.
called?
There's a new fitness fad that is cashing in on marijuana.
So I guess you're not going to believe. You're not ganja. Oh, you're not ganja.
Yeah, there's just puns.
Yeah, but you can now experience a high. Well, ever since the laws have been passing in this country, the copy from our writers has been incredible. So you can experience this high while working on your mind, body, and spirit. Our Danielle Nottingham takes a look.
Coming back to center.
In a studio in San Francisco, yogis are mixing their passion for downward dog with marijuana. It's called ganja yoga.
The awareness.
New students are flocking to DeSouza's classes now that recreational marijuana is legal in California.
So people have the luxury of arriving whenever they want in this first half an hour, what we call the stoner social.
DeSouza believes the combination of mindfulness and marijuana can improve her students' health.
There's anti-inflammatory benefits to cannabis, and specifically CBD products can have amazing pain-relieving benefits and anti-anxiety, anti-depression benefits.
The class opens with students sampling cannabis products.
We hang out, we talk, we kind of break the ice.
Then an hour of yoga begins with breaks for a quick puff. While critics question the health benefits of using marijuana, Tiffany Marquez says it relieves her migraines and puts her body at ease.
It helps to loosen your muscles, it helps to lower your inhibition, so you're more likely to try a different move that maybe before you might have been a little apprehensive of.
Students may feel a little loopy after class, so DeSouza has them stick around for 30 minutes to sober up.
Last one.
DeSouza is expanding her classes in more cities to help others take their yoga practice to new highs. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, San Francisco.
There you go, Vlad. There you go. Didn't have to ask him twice. It's great. You can tell me all about it.
Yeah, right. I'm not going.
Cannabis could soon replace cantaloupes as the big moneymaker here in Mendota. Coming up, I'll tell you just how soon this empty warehouse could be filled with growers and labs.
You're watching Fox 26, your hometown news connection.
One Westside City is about to find out whether marijuana will be a game changer for its economy.
Cannabis will be grown, processed, and shipped from Mendota. Fox 26, your hometown news connection reporter Liz Gonzalez tells us what this could mean in terms of dollars and jobs.
For years, this was a warehouse that used to process cantaloupes. You've got a sign here, no personal items allowed in packing area, not to mention the conveyor belt here. Cantaloupes were the big moneymaker in Mendota for so long. In a matter of weeks, this place will be gutted to make way for a hub for cannabis. Mendota has been plagued with double-digit unemployment, 16% in December. But things are looking up in 2018, with development underway on the West End and reinvention
The whole concept here is a cannabis campus.
on the East. a big shift for the cantaloupe capital of the world.
We can't stop it, so we want to make sure that we can control it and bring some revenues into our community.
This will be broken up and probably into 2 or 3 cultivators.
Developer Tim McGraw is buying this old cold storage facility and preparing it for cannabis growers, processors, and labs.
Not that far from 99 and not that far from the 5. So logistically, it's good for coverage of the state.
The first phase alone could bring up to 100 jobs for everything from trimmers to chemists. CanaHub will pay the city $8 a square foot or $800,000 a year. The city's annual budget is $2.2 million.
It sounds so good, and it could be too good to be true. So I have to stress, we're going to approach this very, very cautiously.
The city's manager isn't ready to factor that money into the budget just yet. McGraw says the site has adequate power and there's a well for water. It could open sometime in April. In Mendota, Liz Gonzalez, Fox 26, your hometown news connection.
Now, voters passed Proposition 64, allowing the sale of recreational pot as of the first of the year. Mendota's ordinance will not allow outdoor grows or dispensaries, meaning pot will not be sold on site.
Legal recreational marijuana in our state. Today, state reps introduced a bill in the House which sends a bill measure to voters. For those 21 and older, the measure would legalize marijuana up to an ounce for personal use and allows up to 6 marijuana cultivation plants. The measure also creates a tax on the sale or transfer of pot, and it would allow local government and companies to create their own policies.
That was Arizona.
Wow.
Is now big push to legalize in Arizona. It's right, you're delicious.
No, you're eating major hugely. You're just eating and talking and everything's cool. All right. Sit down, the patriarchy.
Well, we're just moving ahead. We're moving ahead in the news roll up while we get.
I tried to tell you the rice was
get
delicious.
high.
You made fun of me.
New viewers are coming in, so we got to be on long because of the new viewers.
All right, go on. What's next?
All right. So yeah, we asked earlier. California, now Washington, Seattle is reversing convictions. What about Nevada? What about Las Vegas? What about it? Let's see.
New this morning, now that recreational marijuana is legal, some cities in California are looking to reduce convictions related to the drug. Now, the question is, could something like that happen here?
Yeah, and so Parker Collins spoke with a lawmaker about the complicated process.
Last week, San Francisco's DA announced he would recall and possibly resentence thousands of felony and misdemeanor pot convictions. Recreational marijuana is legal there, but it's also legal here. So why aren't we doing the same thing?
I would like things to change overnight, but that's not the reality of the world we live in. So I hope that the Nevada legislature picks this issue up.
State Senator Tick Sagerblum says they tried dealing with this during the last legislative session.
It's not fair, and we need to do that. And hopefully maybe the next legislative session can enable the district attorney to just wipe it out.
Right now, Sagerblum says people can fix their own records, but it's a long, complicated process.
Most people don't have the effort or the time to take it off their record, but yet if it pops up from future employers, somebody's going to say, what's on there? So it's a big deal, and particularly it affects people of color.
While we wait for change from the top, Sagerblum wants to get free legal help to those who want to clean their records themselves. That plan is still taking root. Parker Collins, 13 Action News.
Classes on marijuana, they are sprouting up across the valley.
Yeah, there's some classes you can take for free, but Parker Collins found out our medical professionals are also taking a new class to make sure they're giving all patients the best care possible.
At Nevada State College, nursing students learn the basics on what marijuana and pot products can do to a patient. It's a unit that always keeps students interested.
It is exciting. I mean, we're right at the beginning of where maybe the medicinal purposes are going to go for the future.
Your future caretakers are also talking ethics, whether they should do pot on their own time. There's no hard or fast rule about it, but many employers still drug test.
We want to make sure, bottom line, that we're at our best when we're in the workplace.
These will be the people you see first when you come to a hospital or clinic, but there are classes you can join. At the Source Dispensary on the last Tuesday of every month is their higher education series. These are discussions with experts about everything from the potency of edibles to how you can use marijuana to treat medical conditions.
Customers and even non-customers, they want to know more about the options that are available.
As pot blossoms in Nevada, both teachers and retailers want to learn more and to teach more.
In the foothills of the Sierras below Sequoia National.
That's a background story. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch this. Although we're going to move it, yeah, just moving into Colorado. And how basically the cute dog, the man the man in Colorado is getting together with the industry, the marijuana industry,
the cannabis space,
and trying to figure out how they're going to deal with all these potheads driving around.
Yeah.
So they're collaborating. You know, that's where a lot of this money is supposed to go.
Yeah. That's another reason why we voted no against 64.
Exactly.
Screw those guys.
Screw those guys. So they're gonna try to figure out now how they're going to determine if you are too high to drive. And I don't understand why they just a field sobriety test doesn't determine it. But then I guess they need what? They need evidence, right? So that's why they need a blood test or something. So.
Yeah, or a saliva swab or something that can.
Right.
But you know, different amounts affect different people differently.
Right. All right. So let's settle this. Let's take a listen, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Continuing to cover Colorado First at noon now. Colorado is cracking down on high drivers. Pot shops are partnering up now with the Colorado Department of Transportation to try to get people to stop. Our Tori Mason's live right now as Colorado and a lot of states look at what is happening. Tori?
Well, Alan, a new study shows over 90% of marijuana users know they can get a DUI when driving high, but still more than half of them admit to doing it. CDOT wants to change the way the public looks at drug driving so more people don't burn and crash. Puffing and passing is legal on the couch, but it's the puffing and passing here that's killing more than a driver's high.
You know, we've been talking in this country for decades about drunk driving, but we aren't having the same conversations when it comes to driving high.
In 2016, Colorado saw 77 deadly wrecks involving drivers with active THC in their blood, making CDOT's efforts go up in smoke.
Well, we have actually put out ads talking about the dangers of driving high as well as the legal consequences of driving high. But as I said, it's just not moving the needle fast enough.
This time, they're rolling out a joint effort to stop I-25 from becoming High 25.
We want to, improve not only the safety of our customers, but also the safety of the general public.
Marijuana industry partners like Lightshade teamed up with CDOT for the Cannabis Conversation, a survey that depends on the public being blunt.
We really want a wide range of opinions from old, young, rural, urban, to give us some feedback about the issue of driving high.
CDOT will use those results to keep the blazed in the back seat. They've never tried it before, but their hopes are high. Now, that Cannabis Conversation survey is anonymous and only takes about 5 to 10 minutes of your time. We posted a link to that on cbsdenver.com. We're live in Denver. Tori Mason covering Colorado First.
Mark on myself.
But you don't want to take that survey?
Screw you, buddy. Shut the fuck up.
So even the ones that are taking that survey, so there are people taking that survey and they're finding that 50% are doing it. They're admitting to doing it. And what was the 90% figure?
I don't remember. Sorry.
And then,
at
but
this stage in the show, I can't be asked.
And that you can't be asked these questions. Very pun heavy, super pun heavy.
Arachnid Soul was saying this is the only fun new copywriters have at work.
Oh my God, yeah, they're going crazy. But the statistic where they're finding THC in the blood of all these people that are they're just starting to test for it. They weren't testing for it and keeping track of it before. Now they're doing both, but they're always. Those cases are, 90% of the time have to do with alcohol. And,
Yeah, or meth. But meth heads don't usually smoke weed.
Right. That's true.
Not
Just to take the edge off.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Do
Either.
they? I don't think so.
No, never been a meth head.
Yeah.
I've been
Totally.
a crackhead, but never a meth head.
Yeah. All right,
More of a
next.
cokehead. Okay, yeah. So now we're not going to take that survey, but I think there are more people driving out there than you think. But it's a whole different, it's a different. There's going to need to be a different way to get their evidence, some system, and I don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a big waste of taxpayers' money, and they should just look for real criminals and people who are impaired.
Totally. Actually impaired.
As opposed to, because here's the thing.
I'm not going out driving now.
Here's
Not
the
leaving
thing.
the house.
All of these busts, the vast majority of these busts are coming from, those guys. Look at those guys. They got their tinted windows, but it's other
Super
stuff.
dark, yeah.
The brake lights out. You're gonna get pulled over for something else, and as soon as they smell weed in your car, this is
done.
happening in California. They immediately assume you're impaired
Yeah.
if they smell it.
Yeah.
So if you're, if you don't have it in your trunk, that's why you got to carry it in your trunk in California.
Well, no, I think now with the child-proof bags, which I don't understand. If they're in a bag, you can open the bag. But they say that if it's in the bag,
You
don't
can
have
carry
to
the
put it
bag
your
in the
trunk.
car?
Yeah. That's what they told me at the dispensary.
Oh, interesting.
'Cause
Okay,
I
well, that's
asked.
good to know.
Yeah.
But
I still wouldn't do it.
and you
I
can't
think
suppose. I guess you
keeping it in your
can't
trunk-
smell through the bag.
Yeah, but I would still keep it in the trunk.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a busted headlight or anything wrong with your car or might be considered suspicious by the police because they're crazy, you may want to.
Well, they're just they're looking to make their day.
You may want to put it in the trunk.
So.
Fuck the
So that's but apparently, there's I'm gonna play two stories out of Colorado, and it has to do two more stories out of Colorado, and it has to do with black market cannabis and the use of the U.S. Postal Service, which
Don't mail shit in the mail.
it's probably
Never.
This is a case of stupid criminals, but apparently there's a lot
Dumb-dumbs.
more of them
Yeah,
in Colorado this last year than there were the year before.
you think? Just like the weed jobs went up.
But
All those new bud tenders are sending the wares all over
just
town.
to touch on the reefer I think that last one was that the last one that had the reefer madness with the gummies? No, that was earlier in this western
Yeah.
the western block here. But she was talking about how the gummies are for kids.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Gummies are for
Oh,
grown-ups.
that was in the South. That's what it was. It was down in the South.
Yeah,
In
gummies are for grown-ups.
Gummies are for grown-ups. People, they are not given those gummies are not destined for the kiddies.
No.
They are not. Trust me.
Mm-mm.
Only happens by accident. But
Yeah.
here's what's going on. Apparently now there's a record number of mailed marijuana packages
You
going out of
dum-dums.
Colorado.
Don't mail things.
Don't mail things. But here's a
No.
couple of stories about what's going on.
Continuing to cover Colorado First at noon now. Colorado is cracking down on high drivers. Pot shops are part.
An Arvada man was sentenced to 1 year and a day in federal prison after investigators found 123 marijuana plants in his home. U.S. Attorney Bob Troyer's office says investigations began after Mark Koenig mailed 4 packages stuffed with 2 to 3.5 pounds of pot. Drug detecting dogs intercepted each package. Investigators then searched Koenig's home where they found the plants. He pled guilty to possession of a federally controlled substance with intent to distribute. Matt Uris covering Colorado First.
Numbers out today show the number of packages that people mail in Colorado that contain pot also on the rise. Denver 7 investigative reporter Jace Larson has been tracking these numbers and shows us a new record has been set.
2017 was indeed a record year for people trying to mail marijuana through the post office. Last year, they found 934 packages. That's up from the year before when there were 805. And look at this, the numbers have really been going up since back in 2012.
fan, or your administration's not a fan of some of the marijuana regulations. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, I think our view on this one is the Cannabis Commission is doing a great job. They're moving at an incredibly fast rate of speed. They have a big agenda and a lot of work to do, and I think our view is they need to make sure that the key elements of this legislation are implemented in July. And the key elements involve what I would describe as a seed-to-sale dispensary operation, and some of this other ancillary stuff. If that's something they want to come back to at some point, I don't see any reason why they can't. But I'm deeply concerned, based on my conversations with local officials, people in public health, and a lot of other folks, that if they try to unwrap the entire package straight out of the gate, the role and responsibility they have as an overseer and as a regulator is going to be compromised. And I think it's really important that the launch of this happen on terms that are consistent with the legislation, but also with people's expectations. And we should remember that the whole point here was to create a safe, reliable, legal market here in Massachusetts. And our view on that is that means think about it as an incremental approach. Do the things you absolutely have to do to get it off the ground. And then after you have some experience with that, if you want to expand it into other areas and circumstances, then by all means have those conversations. But trying to do it all at once, right off the bat, straight out of the gate, July 1st, is a gigantic lift, and one that we worry will be one that might not work quite the way people intended.
And just on marijuana cafes, are you concerned that if Massachusetts became the first state to open pot cafes, that would catch the attention of the Justice Department?
No, I just think that at this point in time, the Commission is still a relatively new entity. It has a relatively small staff. It has an enormous portfolio it needs to pursue. And our view is it ought to focus on the stuff that's fundamental to the rollout, that can be managed, and then learn from that and move from there.
This is the Senate.
It's been 6 years since Massachusetts legalized medical marijuana, and today Western Massachusetts' second medical marijuana dispensary opened for business.
22 News reporter Tashani Whitlow was there when they cut the ribbon in East Hampton.
Dozens of people, many of them patients, came out to celebrate today's grand opening. More than 50 patients, law enforcement officers, and even East Hampton's mayor attended grand opening ceremonies for the INSA medical marijuana dispensary.
Looking for relief from pain, from seizures, insomnia, and this product really helps them.
Dozens of state-authorized medical marijuana cardholders lined up to purchase pot from the new facility and the Keystone Mill. INSA features 2,500 square feet of display space. Mark Satirka told 22 News he's not only the CEO, but a patient as well.
I've been on multitudes of painkillers, and I've found that cannabis works way better than any of the prescription drugs that I've been on.
The INSA dispensary expects to serve 50 patients per day. Despite pot being legal in Massachusetts, many of the patients declined our requests for an interview. The medical marijuana industry is receiving support from healthcare professionals and the state, but support from the federal government is unknown. The U.S. Attorney for Massachusetts recently said he's obligated to enforce federal laws. But it's unclear if he'll target state-sanctioned marijuana businesses. Now, if you're wondering what INSA stands for, it's a combination of names of two strains. One is indica, the other is sativa. Reporting live from Hampshire County Bureau, Tashani Whitlow, 22 News.
What was it? Inisha? No, I'm confusing, conflating her name with what they called the
Why are you quizzing
group.
me?
I don't know. I know. We're going down. We're going down.
I'm too high for quizzes.
Between the drops and that last joint was like.
I'm too high for quizzes.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew. All right, guys. Wow, it was.
Thanks for
hanging in with us.
Really, really amazing.
We're a half an hour late start, but and then we just rolled with it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's
Whatever.
what we
It's
do. We get
always good
high.
to have more practice.
We hang out with our friends. We talk about marijuana in the mainstream media, the politics of pot, and cannabis cures. And one of the cures is for insomnia.
Yeah.
And it's nap time.
Yeah. We have all these wonderful things that we got this week from ITSG. We've got our fantastic house weed, Fire OG, in the middle. That's been great. And we're loving the Jack the Ripper. Also great. So, thank you, ITSG.
Thanks, ITSG, as always. And
Hepburns, the ladies at Hepburns.
The ladies at Hepburns. Very
and
cool
Flocana.
company. Flocana.
Right.
And, of course...
NorCal Distribution makes a nice Dutch treat. I highly recommend.
NorCal, that's the grower?
That's the grower.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's so far, that's been that's like top of the list for us, for me.
Yeah, Dutch treat,
anyway,
definitely.
of what we've been trying
Yeah.
since we've been doing Where We Weed.
Yeah.
And What We Weed for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's been my favorite strain. So
Yeah.
we'll have to expand our palette a little bit, if you will.
Yeah.
But this has been DC 420, the week in weed for what it was this week. It has been fun, and we are super high. So we've achieved our goal, and we've hopefully learned a little bit about medical and recreational cannabis this week and what's going on around the country.
Yeah.
And of course, there's stuff going on all around the world. We can't even have time for that.
Yeah, I know. Hey,
But
good vibes for Alexis Bortel this week.
Good vibes.
That's all on Wednesday. Wear green on Valentine's Day.
That's right. You're all
so
set. You're
people
ready.
will ask you why you're wearing green, and you'll be like, because Alexis Bortel, the young warrior, et al. Are fighting Jeff Sessions in federal court in New York to nullify the Controlled Substances Act as it pertains to cannabis and set us all free.
Unconstitutional.
Mhm.
And I can't see how, if they're going to apply it just to cannabis, it wouldn't apply elsewhere as well. But I think they're
Cannabis has
their
a
focus
medical reason, you know.
As a medical reason, right?
Yeah.
And they have the evidence to back it up.
Yep.
So we're going to be
Fingers
keeping an eye on that.
crossed.
We'll of course be talking about that next week.
Yes, we will.
So and hopefully I'm going to get it all worked out. I promise.
Yeah.
But subscribe to the channel, get notifications, and we're going to go play one more story before we go out. And we're saying goodnight. This is out of New Jersey, and it's talking about how basically New Jersey is next on the list, we think, to get legal recreational cannabis. And they're worried about it in New York. They're not worried about it in New York, but we're worried. New York is coming up. They're doing their studies.
New Jersey's worried.
Cuomo's doing the study. New Jersey's worried that New Yorkers
are going to come to New Jersey for weed.
That's right.
So funny.
That's hilarious. So we know
Jets and the
upstate
Sharks.
Raider is going to be heading over to Jersey
But
along
New
with
York
Zox.
Zox is there.
Zox, hey Zox.
Hey. Nice. You should make Nutty Butter salty balls infused with THC.
I love it. Nutty butter.
I've got a recipe.
You got to make chocolate ones.
I've got a recipe for rummy balls.
Chocolate nutty butter salty balls.
Yeah, they're chocolate.
And you wouldn't be
rummy
infringing
balls.
on copyrights there, I don't think.
Right.
Either.
Anyway.
But I like it.
Cool, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thanks everybody for whoever
We'll see you
stuck with us.
next
I don't
time.
know what channel you're watching us on, but thanks. It's all on YouTube. We'll see you next week. This is the last story coming out of New Jersey. Pot for peace. Get high and have a good time.
Peace out, potheads.
Peace out, potheads.
Thanks, babe.
Thank you. Let's eat.
Yeah.
Hi, how can I help you tonight?
Hey guys, it's Claude, Rodessa Rackner. Just driving around in Colorado where cannabis is legal. So legal. I'm about to buy some cannabis products at a drive-thru.
So I'm gonna let this chain down for you, and you're gonna pull up there to the drive-through window, and Jordan will take your order up there.
Sounds like a plan.
I just need to see your ID and make sure you're old enough to purchase.
I happen to have it right here.
All right, let's see here.
Hello, helpful cannabis person.
Hi, how are you doing tonight?
I am well, except for this excruciating, debilitating pain in my mic wrist.
I believe we might have something to help with that. Could I please start with you?
Okay, this is sounding a lot like a porno.
That's so weird.
Utterly reasonable request. I will place it into park, shutting off the engine. This is a little bit crazy, but I'm on board.
is our Nordic Goddess Topical. It is a 1-to-1 THC to CBD ratio. What you'll get from this is pain relief as well as anti-inflammatory effects.
Will I be able to see sound or communicate with forest animals?
Unfortunately, you will not experience any psychoactive effects from this product as it only absorbs into the affected area and never hits the bloodstream.
So once I pull in, the door closes. That's when we have our little conversation about what I want. I cross your palms with silver, you cross my palms with green or cream or whatever, and then the door opens and away we go, and the public is nary the wiser. Why does it happen this way?
A more appropriate term for this might actually be a drive-in dispensary, and that's the whole reason everything is so much different, because we are a dispensary. There are much more rules and regulations in place versus when you're buying a cheeseburger.
Why does it need to be a drive-in?
Because transactions in the state of Colorado have to take place out of the eye of the public. So that's why we have the doors that close, and therefore you are in the dispensary by definition. When you do get in the dispensary, the cameras need to also verify that you don't have weapons, children's paraphernalia, alcohol, previous purchases from other dispensaries in the vehicle, because all of that is unlawful inside a dispensary.
What if these are my weapons?
I suppose I can't argue with that.
Thank you, cannabis woman. Be well. I feel better already. Now, of course, no buds were actually harmed or purchased in that last little bit there. That was just magic for the internet. But it is kind of what happens pretty much every day here in Colorado. Coloradans pull up, show their ID, ask for weed, hand over their money, and get it. Simple, easy, legal. Just think, New Jersey. It could be coming to a drive-thru near you.
Bow chicka bow wow. Bow bow bow. Bot for peace.
Murderers keep murdering, the churches keep a-burning, the rapists keep a-raping, and the tide ain't turning. Uncle Sam, for all your power, things get worse every hour. It seems to me your energy's all wasted, chasing my friends and me. So hey, Uncle Sam, hey there, Uncle Sam, leave us pot smokers alone. Uncle Sam, leave us pot smokers alone. The terrorists keep terrorizing, our leaders keep a-lying, the haters keep a-hating, and the planet's dying. Uncle Sam, do what's proper, call off your dogs and your helicopters. The problems of society were not caused by my friends and me. So hey, Uncle Sam, hey there, Uncle Sam, leave us pot smokers alone. Uncle Sam, leave us pot smokers alone. How many innocent people gonna be imprisoned? We just peace and love and street pop and brotherhood freaks. A touch of Mother Nature never made nobody violent, never made nobody hate, nobody will break nobody's peace. Since we've never been shown to be harmful, don't you tell me no lies with your caffeine, codeine, nicotine eyes. The cannabis ban is just recent, just since 1938 to re-legalize it, realize it. You made a big mistake. Hey, Uncle Sam, hey there, Uncle Sam, leave us pot smokers alone.
that this drug is dangerous. You cannot play with it. It's not funny. It's not something to laugh about. Good people don't smoke marijuana.